What's going on? What's going on? I'm on my way home. While I'm on my way home, I want to talk about Shakur Stevenson for a second. And you know, when it came to someone like Gary Russell, I talked about all the things that he said he was going to do. You know what I mean? He's going to go to 130. He's going to, you know, because he's a 126 champion, he can go to 130 pounds, and he can get an automatic title shot against Berchelt, with him also being the WBC champion. And he was going to go do that. Then after that, he's going to go after Tank. And his next fight after that, he fought at 126 pounds. He was talking about he was going to jump up to 135 pounds. And, you know, he was going to come out there. He's going to, you know, start causing noise over there. Didn't do it. You know, not sure what weight class he's going to fight next. You know, because now he's calling out an Adrian Broner. You know, which, no disrespect, but I call all this clout chasing. Just due to the fact that you continuously say, I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. I'm having a hard time getting these particular fights. So these are the steps I'm going to take in order to put myself into position to where these guys can't duck me. But then you don't, you know, you don't handle your business and do those things that you said you were going to do. Now, he's a great fighter. I think he's a pound-for-pound ranked level fighter. But, you know, these things that you said you were going to do, you haven't done it. And then when it comes to just taking the same steps, like let's say Earl Spence or Deontay Wilder did, of having fights, staying active, fighting, getting people behind you, getting things, you know, rolling, and pushing the issue to the point where you're a star, because he could do that, do this. He has the gift to gab, and obviously he has the skills to be able to handle business. Even if it was him just fighting twice a year, didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And going to different events, just even going to different events and keeping pressure on guys, didn't do those things. So, you know, now people don't want to call it out because of how great he is and of how cool he is. I'm not one of those people. You know, I see things for what they are. You know, so when it comes to somebody like Shakur Stevenson, you know what I'm saying? With him, if I see the same type of stuff, I'm going to have to call it out. And when it comes to Shakur, I see Shakur being the best of the young dudes. You know what I'm saying? Tank is in a different level. He's actually around the same age as them, but he's almost seen like a veteran at this point. You know, I see him as a different level. But everybody else, the Devin Haney's, the Teofimo Lopez's, all these guys that are seen as probably the next generation or whatever, out of all those, I see the best fighter out of all of them being Shakur Stevenson. Even though Top Rank might not treat him as such, even though Top Rank doesn't push him as such, I believe that's what he is. But I'm going to call bullish when I see it. So, Shakur Stevens, we heard him, you know, putting out stuff, talking about, oh, you know, I want to fight Leo Santa Cruz next, you know, because Tank is not going to be able to make the weight, you know, and I want to fight him, and, you know what I'm saying, I'll beat him, and this and that, all this bullish that he's talking about, knowing that Leo's fighting Tank, you know, knowing that Leo fights on PBC, you know, fights on Fox, and they're not sending Leo to fight you on ESPN. And you know ESPN is not sending you to go fight Leo on Fox. They're not doing it. And everybody that's saying, oh, well, they did, you know, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, those are anomaly fights. Those don't usually happen. When people are tied to networks, that stuff usually doesn't happen. You can count on one hand how many times that happened. What, Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather? You know, Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Who else did something like that? It was Mike Tyson versus, I forget, it was Mike Tyson versus one of them damn dudes. It might have been, damn, was it, what's his name? I don't know. It was Mike Tyson versus somebody. I think it might have been Lennox Lewis. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure who. But it was done with Mike Tyson on Showtime, and whoever was fighting was on HBO. I don't remember who it was. That also happened then. You know, but it's not something that happens frequently. It's very, very infrequent. You know, so we have to look, I like to look at reality, you know, of what can be made and what's there that's available to you, you know, because even though they're not like the superstars, these are still like, you know, top tier guys. in a way to me. You know, even though Leo's older, but you know, the mid-level guys, you got a middle-level guy, and then you got a guy with lower level, whatever. You know, they're around there. They're not the Earl Spencers. They're not the Wilders. They're not the Manny Pacquiaos. You know what I'm saying? They're not those guys. You know, but in that area there where he's at, there are fights with, you know, championship fights that he can make right now with there should be no problem making. That's the WBC champion with Berchelt, because Shakur Stevenson last fight was at 130 pounds, and they said that he's staying at 130 pounds, and he was calling out Leo, 130 pounder, who has a belt at 130 pounds. You know, that he knows the fight's not happening. So I call that cap. You know, because you know it's bullish. You know it's not happening. So it's like, why are you even calling out his name? Especially when he's already attached to fight somebody else on pay-per-view for a substantial amount of money that you can't provide for him. You know, and what he's taking on, which is probably the best fighter at 130 pounds. That's where he's at right now. But where you're at, you're capable of getting title shots against 130 pounders. That would be against Berchelt, who's 130 pounders, and he's signed to Top Rank. He can do that fight. That's a fight he should be pushing for next. That's who he should be fighting next. Berchelt just came back, you know, got a knockout, and for whatever reason, he's chasing Valdez. When the fight that should be happening, that you should be pushing your promoter to make, is you versus Valdez. If you can't get the Valdez fight, you have Herring, who also holds a major belt, and guess who he's also signed to? Top Rank. He does not only have one, but two people that he can fight right now, for belts at 130 pounds. And he said something about Herring, oh, it'd be weird to fight him because they're friends, blah, 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 whatever the hell he's saying. He has a belt. He's your boy, fine. Y'all both can fight and make money. We don't need to start another one of these Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter BS's. Ain't no need for that. You guys aren't related. You're not blood. That's not your act. It's not a Charlo versus Jamal where they're actual brothers, you know, twin brothers. It's not that type of situation. It's not the Klitschko brothers. So there's no reason for y'all not to fight and make money together. Okay? So, enough with the Leo talk. Enough with the Tank. Forget even Tank talk. Right now, go get those belts. He has the opportunity to be a unified champion. There's no reason why in the next 12 months, he's not a unified champion at 130 pounds. He has that available to him right now. Where then you can go up to a Tank and be like, yo, I got these two belts. Or you can go up to a Diaz that's on DAZN. With DAZN, they have all kinds of issues. So you give them some money, they should be willing to make that fight. Where now you can be fighting for 3 belts in that situation as well. You know, so I think what he needs to do is he needs to focus on things that are realistic, that are in front of him, that could catapult him to a whole other level, that are available to him, and they're available to him right now. Okay? So enough with all this BS talk. Let's go get these 2 belts that are in-house and that are readily available for you now. Period. Okay? Don't try to treat us like rocks and throw us in any direction. Handle your business. Talk to your promoter and get those fights done. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.